Everyone, my name is Nur Takuri, and today I'm going to be showing you my demonstration presentation. And in this presentation, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a diced salad. So in many Arab countries, including Palestine, they have their own unique twist on this sort of dish, and we typically pair this salad as a side dish, like alongside rice. It's a very refreshing and delicious salad, and it's very simple, so that's why it's one of my favorites. And I'll be showing you how to make it today. So to start off, the first question I'm going to be asking is, do you guys like salad, and what do you eat it with? Because in Arab culture, when we invite people over and we make a big meal, we typically make a bunch of side dishes. So along with the side dishes, this is one of the side dishes, and it's very refreshing. Not only does it taste amazing, but it's very healthy too. So you don't really have to make it as a side dish. You can make it as your own refreshing snack. So let's get started. So I've collected all of the ingredients necessary, and I'll also take a photo to include. So yeah. So the following ingredients include 2 tomatoes, 1 cucumber. Oh shoot. Let me just. Okay, one bunch of green onions, a lemon, salt, obviously a cutting board. I have the salt and the cutting board in front of me, and a knife. So, and other ingredients that you could include are bell pepper and lettuce. Today I'm including lettuce, but if you don't like those things, you don't have to include it. So now that we've got our ingredients, let's start with our cucumbers and tomatoes. So I already have pre-cut or pre-sliced tomatoes, not sliced, but pre-peeled tomatoes. So you want to, here, let me just, yeah, I think that's better. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to cut your cucumber in half like this. And you want to start by cutting the cucumber into even pieces. So you cut it like here, here. So basically 3 to 4 times like that down the cucumber. Also, alongside the supplies, you also use a bowl to put your stuff in. So we're going to cut the cucumbers and the tomatoes first. The second step to start and dice the cucumbers, you also obviously have to prep your cutting board, knife, and make sure your vegetables are washed, because we wash vegetables. Yeah, so after I've cut the end of the cucumbers off, you evenly cut each section into 4 rectangles. So now we dice. Here, I'll show you. Now we dice them. Okay. So as I've shown you here, so you cut the rectangles that we cut before. You cut them like this. So 3 pieces down, and then you just start dicing, like, you just start making them into very small, not very small, but proportionally small cubes. And this is gonna be perfect. You don't have to make it perfect. But typically when guests come over, in Arab culture, we like to make things perfect for guests, because it's a hospitable trait. Here, let me fix my camera. And then you just want to keep repeating that with the cucumber until you finish your whole cucumber. feeling that I should probably point this towards, or at least show the whole thing. Let me see if that'll be better. Okay. Yeah, that's better. And then, now that I've finished my cucumber, I get the cucumber and I put them in my bowl. Sort of drop some. It's okay. And then after you finish the cucumbers, then you want to start with your tomato. This is a pretty big tomato. If you have a big tomato, you can, 1 tomato can equal 2. But, so obviously compared to the cucumber, you want to cut the top of your tomato off. Like this part, so this part doesn't go in your salad, and then you cut, you know, you can just like savor whatever part of the tomato you want. And then to start off, you have to cut the tomato, once again like the cucumber, into like 4, maybe 5 even slices. So we'll be doing that right now. And typically for the salad also, you want to get like a sharp knife, but you know, my family, we used a lot of knives, so there wasn't any of the sharp yellow ones for today. So I will start by doing, I'll demonstrate by doing 2 sliced tomatoes. And then with these tomatoes, you want to do the same thing. So you start cutting, like you start cutting even slices here, and then you do the same way in the other direction. So you just need to make not perfect, but you need to make even cubes. Okay, then I can do probably this slice really fast. And you want to make sure not to get any of the stem in the salad, because the stem is like, you know, these pieces. And I'm outside, by the way, so in my own backyard. Typically you throw them in the trash, but I'm outside so I can throw it out onto the grass. Okay, now that I've finished my tomato, then you put it in the bowl as well. Okay, so now that we've diced those tomatoes into small cubes, you want to make sure that you also don't make them mushy, because if it's mushy, then the salad isn't going to be really fresh. And so now that we've diced up the tomatoes and cucumbers, let's move on to what's next. So the third step is to dice up the rest of the vegetables. So you get your green onions, like these. And these are already pre-diced and pre-peeled. Not pre-diced or pre-peeled, but they're already like... So with the green onions, typically they come in roots, and you want to cut off the roots, and you also want to like twist off the top of the green onion. So these are already like that. And so I'll make probably this many. So you want to get your green onions. You want, yeah, like what I said. And then after all of that, you want to start just cutting the green onions like this. Probably should make it like, yeah. And when you're cutting, you want to make sure that all of the pieces are even, because when you want to take a bite of the salad, you don't want a part of the salad to be thicker or smaller than the rest. You want to keep it consistent. Now that I've finished that. Okay, so now that we've moved on to the green onions, there's radishes. I'm not going to include all these radishes in the salad, but we'll start off with probably 2. And so for the radishes, you want to also cut off the ends so you don't eat the ends. And you want to just do like what you've been doing with all of the others. So you cut it like even. And then you want to cut them into squares, so, you know, so down 4 to 5 cuts vertically and horizontally. I'm sorry if I'm not talking a lot, I'm just focusing on not cutting my finger off. Okay, that's enough for demonstration on the radishes. Okay. Okay, so now that we have the radishes, you also want to put them with the rest of your vegetables. Okay, so sorry for the pause. Now that we've finished, doing our salad, it's time to assemble. So the last step is to combine everything together, but we've done it progressively. And so you combine all your vegetables into the bowl, you get your lemon and you cut it in half. You squeeze your lemon and you put as much into the salad as you like. Typically we put the whole thing, but if you don't like sour things that much, it's fine. And then you add as much salt as you can and you mix the salad up and you serve it. And so typically with the salt and the lemon, you do that last part like right before you serve it, so it stays fresher for longer. But another occasion, like sometimes people like putting lettuce, and if you like putting lettuce in your thing, I'll show you how to chop it off just as like a little topper. So you just cut it down, and then like how you usually. And then you mix all of your ingredients up, and yeah, those are the 4 steps of making the salad dish. Here it is. It doesn't really look the best, but yeah. Thank you for watching my video.